Is your choice of electoral reform, the most urgent one? Maybe they're all important, but what would be the most urgent for you if you had to do one?
I've been in favor of proportional representation. I thought the process for the Citizens' Assembly was a good one. I think there was a commitment to a process there. I was surprised by the outcome and the Citizens' Assembly choosing STV because it's not proven in very many countries and very many administrations. So I was hoping for mixed member proportional representation, which is proving quite successful in New Zealand and Europe. That said, we're faced with a choice now, what we have, first past the post or STV, and I'm sitting on the fence as of today. I'm looking at it. I haven't decided yet which I'm going to vote for myself, and I think there's a very interesting choice to make, and I think we need electoral reform. It's just whether this is good enough for now.
Would you suggest that perhaps they list at least three alternatives, and instead of saying do you want to accept STV or not, could perhaps you suggest that they list at least the three main ones that we just mentioned, that we mentioned on Now Poll?
Yeah, it might have been a better strategy, and we may have gotten what we wanted that way by offering more choices instead of a yes/no on a new system. Yeah, we deserve to have more choices and more input on how we reform our electoral system. And it's in need of reform. That's clear. But if we don't have choices put before us, it's difficult. Yeah, personally, I'd like to see more public coverage of dental and psychiatric. I think those are shortcomings of our system right now, where people don't have good access to that. That's where our system can improve. So I think I would like to see us moving towards universal health care and covering all of people's needs. And the step to get there right now is to stop privatizing our system.
Mm-hmm. So you would choose the universal and comprehensive, absolutely free, all paid by taxes, except for cosmetics.
Except for cosmetics. Yeah, I guess well, public. This is a tricky question. Because the party is, the party's policies on this are kind of in between these, you know, for...
What is your position? Not speaking for the party, but what you would like to do if you were in command?
Yeah. Personally, my preference is for universal, and that things like dental and mental illness, psychiatric care, those are covered, and everyone by taxes, yeah. We look after everybody, and that's the way it's done in Cuba, and I think they're a model for that, and I would support that if it was a realistic possibility.
Okay, but what would make it unrealistic?
Opposition to it. I think the scale of transition for dentistry, for all the elements in our system right now that are privatized, I think there would be a real uproar against that.
But you think it's a good idea?
I think it's a good idea. Yeah, it's not fair to people that. Everyone knows when you have a problem in your mouth and you can't look after it, that's just as severe as anything else in your body, and sometimes even more painful.
It should be a human right.
It should be.
To be looked after.
Yeah.
What is your choice according to nowpoll.ca?
I think my choice on this would be as is now. I think that a combination is working quite well in the education system. I think that's having different opportunities to go forward in education is good. The combination of public funding and public education, and then student fees that cover moving on in school and post-secondary. And opportunities, though, there has to be opportunities for scholarship, for financial aid, and this government, Gordon Campbell's government, has removed a lot of those.
And so you're saying that student fees are fine?
I think student fees are fine, but they need to be contained, and that needs to be controlled. Frozen. Yeah, I think it needs to be frozen right now, and needs to be revisited because they went up drastically in the last 2 years.
So your choice would be to continue the way it is, just maybe freeze the student fees. That's your choice.
That's my choice.
All right. How about welfare?
University will be provided to all BC residents. So no change. Is the third one here guaranteed according to need, similar to old age supplementary pension?
That's the one.
Family
you
allowance.
choose.
That one is in between the others, eh? So it's more than what's current, but less than universal.
So you like that middle ground?
I like the middle ground where it's according to need, and I think there needs to be in addition to that, there needs to be more commitment to making opportunities happen for people who are on income assistance, and there's more effort put into that direction as well, along with meeting their basic needs. People have to be given opportunities to advance. I think there are better solutions than we have right now to dealing with social services, to dealing with welfare, income assistance. I don't think necessarily the answers are with the Trudeau administration approach to it. I think there are some really interesting models in Europe right now on guaranteed living and cost of living, and we need to look at those. This government has made zero attempt to deal with this. They've just cut away and cut. And truthfully, NDP governments through the 90s, they weren't focused on addressing this issue directly enough. I think it's something that we can address going forward. We have to recognize that we do have tremendous resources here, comparable to what is in Europe, and that it takes dedication to finding those solutions.
Where do you stand in that issue?
I think the privatization of public assets has to be stopped. There's been way too much of it in the last several years of Gordon Campbell. Those public assets are on almost every case profitable and generating revenue to pay for our health care, our education, our social services. So they're valuable public assets. It's not good business to sell them off to what isn't even in the highest bidder in a lot of these cases, but they're being shipped offshore for other people to benefit from when they're assets that belong to us, and they're being sold off and not in our best interest. So I'm against privatization of these assets.
How about services like the management of BC ferries?
No, I think BC Ferries is part of our transportation system, and all the components of BC Ferries. I think what the deal that they did to buy ferries from Germany was a tragedy for our shipbuilding industry, which is very capable of putting those ships together. So I would support that BC Ferries remains in the public sphere, that we have access to what's going on there. Right now we have no access to the information in BC Ferries, and that's not right.
What do you think about the private-public partnership of RAB line?
I don't like public-private partnerships. I don't like them in healthcare. I don't like them in transportation. These are public assets, and they're public services. There isn't a place for profit and the profit motive, and it's not like we have a shortage of capital. We have a huge tax base here in BC, and we can afford to invest in projects that are going to run for decades and generations, and they're going to generate wealth and opportunity here in BC. So we should be investing in those, not private companies to make profit from them. I was intrigued to see your site, and I was surprised that I hadn't heard of it until you were in touch with me, because there's a lot of interesting stuff there, and it's an interesting vehicle to gauge how much support is out there for initiatives, to get a sense, because the polling world can be skewed, and the opinions that polling research put forward are not always that accurate, and it leaves a lot of people out who have strong opinions. And so I think your site is interesting, and I'm going to keep my eye on it.
Would you recommend viewers to?
I would recommend for sure.
Register and vote?
Oh yeah.
Say it.
I recommend viewers to go to that site and register and vote and make their opinions heard. Nowpolling.ca.
Great, thank you very much.
Ladies and